We need a new measuring stick. What's a way to determine if a car is fast or not? 0 to 60 time, thanks to instant torque of electric motors, really is irrelevant now for most vehicles. Nowadays, a 0 to 60 time of 6 seconds is what it used to be like when measuring cars in the early 90s, where they would do 0 to 60 in 16 seconds. Everything is so fast now. Even going 0 to 100, there's not a lot of separation between some of these performance cars. But of course, here comes the Nürburgring entering the chat. And honestly, I don't think that's a good benchmark either. Yes, it is a very long technical track where a lot can go wrong over the course of a lap, but the automakers modify their vehicles just enough so that they can get some sort of record. Again, the Nürburgring times, if you got under 10 minutes, it was pretty respectable. Now you've got them in the 7-minute range. At some point, it's not going to be enough to determine how fast a vehicle is. And of course, the things that are important to a lot of enthusiasts, like how it feels when it drives, is subjective, and there's no way to quantify that. So what are we to do?
I don't know.
Of course, the easy answer is establish a new measuring stick. And for some of us, that could be slalom times, because most of these EVs have to preserve their tires. They have to be low rolling resistance, which means they don't handle as well, but they're wide enough and have all-wheel drive to stick going 0 to 60. Even 0 to 150 to 0 records are being shattered, because more and more cars are getting that fast. A Porsche 911 Turbo S will do 0 to 60 nearly as fast as a Tesla Model S Plaid, but 9 times out of 10, I'd rather be in the Porsche. There's a raw emotion associated with a motor noise. And of course, manufacturers are trying to duplicate this by adding boomboxes to their cars. Like Porsche's new Macan EV, for $490, you can add a simulated sound.
Isn't that like cheating?
But simulate the sounds all you want, it's not going to be the same. There needs to be some sort of way to measure emotion. Whether that test ends up being, let's do 0 to 60 times 10 times in a row and figure out, are you bored yet? Because once you get used to that speed, it's not as cool anymore. Unless you're showing it off to friends. Maybe measure how many people look at it as it drives by. I honestly wish I had an answer to this, because it is a $1 million question. If you can solve this, you can tell which vehicles are really going to be best for you. Governments mandate more electric vehicles. I don't care about the 0 to 60 times because it's gonna be fast. I care about how I feel while driving the vehicle. And all the vehicles are gonna be quiet, so what is the one that makes noise? So honestly, I'd love to hear your input on this. What do you think should be the new measuring stick for performance vehicles? There's a reason why vehicles of the 80s and 90s are surging in popularity, and it's not just because of the cycle of life where we want the things that we used to be able to want, but now we have the means to do it. It's because most of today's vehicles do not portray that same emotion. I had a 1983 Honda Accord that was so slow, but it had so much more emotion to it than most of the modern day vehicles. But if you made it this far, thanks for watching. Make sure to check out some of my other videos, and I'll catch you on the next one.